everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here today. My name is Jessica Perez, Outreach Liaison with Vecinos Unidos, an organization that's been doing some really great work in the Hartford community since the 1970s in the areas of housing advocacy, recycling, education, and socioeconomic justice. I'm honored to be here today with Vecinos Unidos Director Luz Santana and Treasury Director Francis Davila. Thank you so much.
Gracias.
Thank you. So we'd like to talk a little bit more first about Vecinos and the amazing work that we've been doing in the community most recently. And I know in the areas of housing advocacy, there's a lot happening. Would you like to talk a little bit more about that?
Well, right now at this moment, we're working in some tenants issues on Madison Street and also in the Farmington area and Gillette, Marshall Street, working with some tenants that have some issues with the conditions of their apartments and with the management companies that are the one in charge of making the repairs, in charge of collecting rent and stuff from the tenants. And we got some big issues because people are paying a good amount of money for apartments that are in really bad shapes. So we're working with tenants, and that's what we've been doing lately. We did make a meeting back in December with the director from the License and Inspection, Ms. Judy Rothschild, and so we had meeting with council members like Mali Rosado and others. And that's what we're doing in that area, in the housing area. And then, right now we're also working on the recycling because we think it's very important, and people do like to do recycling. We had a program before with the city, and it worked really good, and people were really excited, and we like to continue, and that's why we working out on the recycling Verbena, as we call. Which is a gathering people will get together, bring some recycling, we get prizes and stuff, and we have some entertainment, and that's what we do, trying to get people excited about the importance of recycling, which is good for you and better for Mother Nature.
Yeah.
And
in reality, Vecinos Unidos, like you said before, has been working since the 70s, basically trying to help the community of people that really have some problems in terms of housing. Housing is a problem, obviously, in Hartford, but not only in Hartford. It's nationwide, most likely in the whole world, And Vecinos Unidos is taking the time and effort to try to help these people because it's unfair sometimes, the problems that we have in our community, and the people who don't have the proper resources in order to have the right housing for their children. And not only, even elderly people, as you well know. So that's why Vecinos Unidos is important. But then again, we have the part of, like she was saying, trying to continue educating the people with recycling. We probably get inspiration from the indigenous people who thought that Mother Earth was very important, And obviously we know that a lot of people either don't understand how important Mother Earth is, and obviously there's the developers that I don't want to come and talk negative about them,
Right.
but that obviously what they care is about continuing to developing, the land and doing whatever it takes, and they don't take care of Mother Earth the way they should.
So I'd like to touch back to your mention of indigenous people, right? So we are Vecinos Unidos, right? That's a Spanish term for United Neighbors.
Yes.
And really, Lucy, I love your necklace there too. Can you tell us about the origin of the necklace there and what indigenous tribe it's coming from?
This is, part of a Puerto Rican kind of mix with the African and Spaniards and indigenous. We call Tainos in Puerto Rico. It was Puerto Rico, but also all the countries in the Caribbean area.
In the Caribbean, yeah.
Yeah, but it's the Tainos.
The Tainos
part of us.
Right.
Descendants. from the
Right, and I
That's correct. The first people living in the island of Puerto Rico were Taino Indians, you know, and they
Native.
came all the way from Venezuela.
right.
So, and obviously then Puerto Rico was colonized by the Spaniards, you know, and unfortunately the Taino Indians were abused. And after the colonization of Puerto Rico for many years, uh, in the, I think, 18th century, that's when the United States ended
Right.
up then colonizing Puerto Rico.
Right. And so one of the things, just to track back to that relationship, to that foundation, to that Taino Indigenous Foundation, and its relationship to Mother Earth, and its influence over the cause for Vecinos Unidos in recycling education. And it's interesting that it comes from that indigenous background, from that very sort of simple way of life, until now, we're in the 21st century, where yes, we want to live healthy, we want to be one with our environment, but how do you do that in an age of technology, of an age in industry where everything could have some potential to cause pollution and destroy our ecosystem? And so I think it's wonderful that there is a recycling initiative, because then it brings it to those socioeconomic communities where they may not necessarily have the time, right, to really sort of sit back and focus on how their environment can affect them, their air quality, just even like their surrounding areas, what that does to the psyche. And so when you're sort of in that mode, work, 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 survive, 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 how do you make that connection? And I think that's just an amazing thing with Vecinos Unidos, that there is this sort of hold on, take a step back. We're an organization that has the resources to tell you about how this is affecting you and how this can improve your life. So I just think it's just an amazing thing to have in an organization amongst all of the other things that are geared toward the lower socioeconomic communities. And so I also wanted to sort of touch on tracking back to the housing part of Vecinos Unidos. Like you said, you've been in the community since the 70s. What are some of the major things or the major impacts or a major impact that Vecinos Unidos has made in the Hartford community in the area of housing? Like a standing impact.
Well, we have worked in so many projects way back from the 70s. We worked so hard working with the residents on the lower and St. Broad, so they make happen what they call Casa Nueva now. It's in Broad Street and Lawrence Street area. We work in the building forest, which is right next to Casa Nueva. We're working about rehabbing some houses in the area, you know, trying to get people a more decent, affordable housing. And we were a major key organization in putting together what used to be a Broad Park development, which is no longer in existence, and unfortunately, a lot of the work that we did on housing in the Park Street area, we got a setback because of all that work that we done. It kind of went then end up in the hands of a private sector after so much work, you know, getting the subsidies and the rehab for the properties and putting together this organization. However, you know, we never lose hope. We think that we'll be able to get those gain back all the stuff that we have lost in the past. And we have been working with you know, some neighborhood organizations that do some housing. For example, Sinai, we work with the director, Melvin Colon, and he's been very helpful with us, understanding that we have issues about displacement, you know, how the people being displaced from the area. And so we have figured out how do we connect the housing issues with the job issues and with the need to also help Mother Earth with the recycling, the little that we could do from the convenience of your house or your apartment, about recycling, very simple things that we could do to help Mother Nature, you know, because and in that direction, that's how we initiated. Way back in the 2011, we took the initiative to put together this recycling Verbena. The people like it because they come bring some recycling items that it really doesn't have you don't get a 5-cent returns, stuff that you end up in the garbage. But it could be recycled. You can bring those things to and we get some prices to people and things like that at the Verbena.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how we combine in the housing issue with the other lot of issues that we have in the community. But I focus on trying to do our part on helping Mother Earth
Right.
because
And here in the United States, we're very fortunate that we have these initiatives of putting resources, and creating a program like recycling. Hartford is very hands-on in recycling. The thing is that Vecinos Unidos is trying to continue educating the people so they can understand how important it is to recycle.
Right.
Because, creating plastic is very good and helps us with many things, but also then creates other problems.
Right.
The solvent of plastic in Mother Earth takes years and years and years. So that's one of the things that we need to continue, again, educating people to understand why recycling is so important.
and
Right.
fun. And it's
Right.
fun. I mean,
Right.
everything that we do, we're trying to have a little bit of fun of it, give a little bit of salsa to deal with the issues, right? And that's why we do the Verbena.
Right. Right.
Because the people who have there is entertainment. Thanks to the Betty Knott Foundation
Yeah.
that make possible so that we have this Verbena this year.
Yes.
Along with other sponsors like Zaina, we got Saya's Law Firm, we got SAMA, which is the Spanish Association for Merchants. SAMA, yeah.
Yep.
Spanish American Merchants Associations.
Okay.
And Julio Mendoza, we got other business that is helping us out.
Awesome.
These are institutions that have always been
Right.
there helping Vecinos Unidos, and we are very grateful and thankful to them.
Yeah.
Right. I'd like
And
to
we have
bring.
the entertainment, which is going to be
Very cool.
in charge of Armando Rivera. He's going to be in charge of the entertainment
Yes.
with his orchestra, 22, and we're going to have Don Juan Sanchez with his conjunto Jibaros de Borinquen.
Yes.
And we're going to have face painting.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have this invited guest, Marina Ayala. He's going to
Okay.
help us with that.
All right. That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
So it's about environment, the whole environment, right? Where do you live? How are you living? And how are you taking care of the external ecosystem around where you live? And then how can we get people interested? Let's have fun. Let's talk about it. So I think it's just going to be an amazing event. And like you said, it's sponsored by the Betty Knox Foundation, amongst other organizations. And I think that in having this type of event in the community, we're hoping, or the hope is that it'll draw enough attention so that it can sort of snowball into something even more, right? Like you said, it's or what you touched on, the involvement of the city is just so important. And I think in the city of Hartford, we have the Department of Waste and Recycle. And I think there is a committee, a sustainability committee as well. And so to be able to have those relationships, I mean, how important is it to have those sort of long-term working relationships with members or committees in the city whose mission is the same, essentially?
Yeah, recognizing that, we take the initiative, to do this with the people in the neighborhood,
Right.
which should help the city.
Right.
Help the city. So we're very glad that you are working with the Department of Special Permits.
Yes.
So I want to take this moment, Jessica, just to say that obviously verbena, that's a word in Spanish.
Yes. Yeah. Tell us more. Yeah.
But it comes down to, like Luz was saying, it's like a gathering of people. It's like a festival that we're having, where we're going to have music, we're going to have information, we're going to have some food, and we're dedicating this to somebody who, unfortunately, he passed away, but he was always part of the community and helping the community, the Señor Celestino Jimenez. And Luz can talk a little bit about Celestino, because Celestino was a very dynamic person, You know, he was an athlete, he was a musician, he was involved in trying to help all the children in the community, you know, particularly the ones that don't have the resources, you know, to be part of the sports in the community and things like that. Celestino was always there trying to help our children in our community. So, you know, we look forward
Yeah.
for people coming, since we're dedicating Verbena, you know, to this man who unfortunately, again, he passed away about 2 years ago, I think it was, maybe a little bit more, you know, and we miss him a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's awesome. So I think it's amazing that we have this event, like you said, a Verbena, a celebration surrounding an issue that's impactful in the Hartford community, but then also just in the world, right? Like climate, like what we do in our immediate environment actually does have an effect on the world, right? And so while we think about living healthy in our own neighborhoods, the impact that it has worldwide, or the ripple effect it'll have, like you said, or what you hinted to, is just amazing. All right, well, so this has just been an amazing talk. We really want to take the time to sort of talk about the Recycling Verbena. And so it'll be on Saturday, everyone, September 14th from 11 to 6 p.m. And the cleanup will be from 11 until 1. And then after that, everyone will migrate to the Verbena. Where is this going to be? Right in the Hartford community. Our cleanup will be on Walcott Streets, Ward Street, and some on Squire Street. And our huge celebration will be on Walcott Street, from 1415 Walcott Street all the way to the corner of Park Street. And in this Verbena, as Lucy and Francis mentioned, we're going to have salsa, we're going to have bomba, we're going to have plenty of games and activities, and it's just going to be such a wonderful celebration, and educational resources as well.
I also want to take this moment, Jessica, to say hi to a person that has been part of Vecinos Unidos forever, with Luz Carmen Cordero, who couldn't be here today because she's sick. But, you know, Carmen.
Hi, Carmen.
Yes.
Oh, you're talking about those?
Yes. Carmen Cordero, she is also a board member of Vecinos Unidos, and she is somebody who has been active in the Hartford community since the inception of Vecinos Unidos, and even now, she's very much active in the housing advocacy portion of the Vecinos Unidos organization. And so, yes, thank you, Carmen. I'm sorry you couldn't be here today, but we definitely look forward to seeing you on the day of the Verbena on September 14th. Right on the start of Hispanic Heritage Month. Thank you so much for being here again. This is just such a wonderful organization that I'm honored to be a part of as your outreach liaison. And I look forward to working with the organization so that we could, again, take this event and then snowball it and continue on with these relationships in the city in the future. So we'd also like to thank our sponsors, the Betty Knox Foundation, SINA.
And SINA is the South End Institutions Neighborhood Alliance.
Amazing. And then SAMA, which is
a Spanish American Merchants Association.
Yes. Zaya Law Firm as well.
Zaya.
Yeah.
Richard Sayas has always been there.
Richard.
Yes,
Richard.
for Vecinos Unidos.
Yeah.
Richard. I'm very honored to have been able to have this conversation with you all, and just honored to be able to work with Vecinos Unidos as your outreach liaison. So again, everyone, our Verbena, Recycling Verbena, is September 14th from 11 to 6 o'clock on Walcott Street. If you're interested in volunteering or participating more in the event in any way at all, please reach out to us at our Instagram. It's Vecinos_United, and we definitely look forward to hearing from you and seeing you at the event. Thank you.